Hi friends, it's time to check in on how my hair growth is progressing. I am 6 weeks post-chemo now, and I'm not sure if it'll look much different this week from last week, but let's take a look. Here we go. Not sure about this lighting or what you can see and not see, but there's still some bald spots here, and I think I've got some stuff growing back here. My husband says it's filling in a little bit, so that's good. I'm not totally comfortable going out in public like this quite yet. And even though I'm not comfortable, there is a part of me that sees this bald head of mine as a sort of badge of honor. It's a visible reminder of what it is I'm going through, and so for that, I'm thankful. Okay, so one of the lessons that my bald head has taught me that I want to share with you today is a lesson about belonging to something bigger than yourself. When I'm out at a restaurant or at a store out in public and I see another woman with a hat on or a scarf and I can tell she's a survivor, it makes me feel like this instant sense of connection with her, like this camaraderie, this togetherness, and she's a total stranger. And the reason I think I feel that sense of connection is because that person, although I don't know her, and myself belong to this community of people, these survivors who are fighting cancer, and belonging to that community feels good. It feels good to belong to something bigger than yourself, doesn't it? So this is what I want to challenge you with today. If you are feeling isolated, sometimes we can forget that we belong to something bigger. So I want to challenge you that if you are overcome with feelings of isolation and loneliness, to be fierce in the fight, to remember truth, to remind yourself of what's true, to remind yourself that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, part of humanity, part of a community of people. You're part of a family or friends, groups of friends who love you, and it's important to have that sense of belonging. In the Bible, in Romans chapter 7, verse 4, it says, "So, my brothers and sisters, we belong to another, to him who was raised from the dead." And what is that talking about? What does it mean? It means that we, as Christians, we belong to Jesus. And in a couple of chapters later, it says, if we belong to Jesus, we actually belong to each other. We're part of this community, and it's a really great thing. So if you need community, if you are finding yourself getting down in the dumps and lonely, then can I challenge you to find a local church? Find a church that is a Bible-believing church and ask your questions about Jesus. You might be wondering right now, like, what is she talking about? Feeling like that tug in your heart, like I want to find out a little bit more about this, but I'm kind of embarrassed. Go to a church, talk to somebody, ask them your questions, find out what it means to belong to Jesus and to have that connection with other Christians. And if you are a Christian and you are still feeling that sense of isolation and loneliness, get connected in your church. Find a small group, find a way to serve and to be a part of what's going on. So next Friday, check back with me. We'll see how my hair growth is doing, and I'll also fill you in on a couple of things I'm using to promote hair growth, okay? See you next week.